Derby Day in the Lone Star State. Ahead of the 57th meeting between FC Dallas and Houston Dynamo this evening in Arlington, we start our Texas two-step in Houston with an MLS Next Pro match at SaberCat Stadium, a place where Houston Dynamo Dos are off to a 3-0 start this season. They are still undefeated, the only team in MLS Next Pro at this time that has not conceded a goal all year. They come up against a tough North Texas team with a 1-1-1 record on the season, who is looking to end that perfect start to their Texas rivals. Here's Houston Dynamo Dos and their starting lineup under interim head coach Jeremy Hurdle. Some big guns brought in, namely Nick Marcanic on the left wing there. He had 2 assists in his lone MLS Next Pro appearance, a player who has scored 30 goals at the championship level. A first start for Artur Souza and JJ Bell, who had a beautiful goal in the last game in at the number 10. And we take a look now at North Texas SC under head coach John Gull. He names a changed starting 11 from their first few games, where he kept a pretty consistent group of players. Thanks to some first team changes, there are some new faces. Ricky Lewis makes his Next Pro debut, a 2nd overall draft pick this year for FC Dallas, and a new Nice, of course, with his 4 goals, leads the way so far for North Texas. Also, Enzo Newman at right back, coming back in and making his first start, coming back from a long-term injury. Another player with some MLS potential who is starting to find his feet as he tries to get back in that first team picture. And, you know, if there's any other players that you might be thinking, hey, why are they not involved? It could well be because they will be playing in the Texas Derby, or at least in the teams for that MLS matchup, which kicks off in about 2.5 hours, 7:30 local time. So some names like Nicholas Simmons, who is out of the North Texas team and has started their first few games, could be involved there. And Augustine Resch recently signed from Dynamo Dos to a first-team contract, likely to be with the first team as well. So you got these 2 teams with so much talent coming through. Houston Dynamo Dos, a team always known to be playing youth, playing teenagers consistently, one of the youngest teams in MLS Next Pro. Their highlight teenage star, Matthew Arana, who had a goal and an assist last week, really the headline performer in their 5-0 win over Portland Timbers 2. He is also up with the first team, where he became their youngest ever signing earlier this year. So they kind of do their pathways to pro in different ways. North Texas typically an older team with the FC Dallas second team here, and that is the case today as well. Just 2 teenagers in the starting lineup, a handful of seasoned college guys, pros from other leagues, and a couple academy players to boot as well. One of those teenagers, Diego Garcia, with 93 career professional appearances. So a teenager who is extremely experienced at the heart of the North Texas midfield. So it's the visitors in white, Houston Dynamo Dos in the bright orange kits, as we've come to know here at SaberCat Stadium. You can expect as well a first half water break. 85 degrees today in Houston. An absolute scorcher. We should have some fire on the pitch as well, as Ricky Lewis stands over our first half kickoff. Luis Diego Arroyo blows the whistle. And the Texas Derby between Houston Dynamo Dos and North Texas SC off and running. My name is Parker Johnson. So glad that you've joined us tonight on YouTube, MLSNextPro.com, and of course the OneFootball app, where all of MLS Next Pro lives this season, live and on demand. Noah Betancourt, the first man on the ball for the home side. A Houston Academy product, making his first start of the year. He comes in at the right back position. It's been Jonah Gibson's spot. Or rather, he is the North Texas right back replaced today. It's Betancourt on the Houston side, Guy who can play center mid, he can play a little bit of right back. As they pass it around with Pedro Cruz getting his first touch, Brazilian goalkeeper, out to Daniel Barrett. Souza tracking, Betancourt storming up from that right back spot and unable to get to it before the North Texas back line. Direct play, what we've become accustomed to from North Texas teams under head coach John Gall. They didn't have a lot of other options in their last match when they took on Austin last weekend. This is their second straight in-state rivalry game on the road. They played at Austin FC 2 and suffered a 1-0 loss on the road in a game that was dominated by the conditions. You can see a little bit of blustery air in the atmosphere for this one. Some jerseys whipping around. It's nothing compared to what they saw in Austin last weekend. About 16-mile-an-hour winds here today at SaberCat Stadium. Last week, there were wind gusts up into the 40s down in Austin, and just conditions that John Gall said made it nearly impossible for his team to play football, for either team for that matter. At times on the fields, the ball couldn't even stay still for a free kick. It was so windy, and just causing a game that was divided into two halves. Whichever team had the wind at their backs had a massive advantage, and Austin was able to score on a long-range shot that deflected and whipped through the wind into the top corner. So hoping for a more even playing field in this warm and humid day in Houston. J.J. Bell on the ball, wiggling into the 18-yard box. One back quickly by Dynamo Dos, rising header, Betancourt. Double clearance from North Texas, and the shot eventually scuffed by Marcanic. Marcanic's in a funny spot. You see him wearing 71 there on the right wing for Houston. He was with the first team for their last match. He is a first-team player, 26 years old. Get back to that in a moment as Edu Nees combines nicely. The shot goes low. It actually went through the legs of Cruz, but he took all the sting out. And the effort there from Samuel Sadeh, unable to beat the Houston goalkeeper, who was a finalist last year for MLS Next Pro Goalkeeper of the Year, the Goalie Wars champion at the All-Star break. Looks very similar to what happened at the beginning of the game last week. A 5-0 win at home for Houston against Portland, where Cruz was forced into a massive save within the first 5 minutes of that match. They were under a little bit of early pressure from a very good Portland team, and Dynamo Dos went on to make it look like an absolute walkthrough. A 5-0 victory, 5 different goal scorers in that match, highlighted, of course, by Matthew Arana, the 15-year-old sensation, who has made some inroads with the first team already, and that is why he will not appear in this match after that standout performance. But things could have been much different if not for Cruz, as we see the flair of J.J. Bell adding a bit of spice to the attack. Marcanic. Give out to Rivera in possession. Ball sprayed to the far side, and Di Morelli's touch a little too strong. But that idea you can see in possession for Houston, they were really successful in creating several of those 5 goals they scored against Portland, and likewise the 4 that they put up the week before against Tacoma, in similar patterns of play. Switching quickly, hitting a big ball across the field, and on 2 separate occasions against Tacoma, it was Di Morelli who found the back of the net. easy to forget how young some of these players are when you see the excellent performances they're putting in as pros. Di Morelli, one of those at just 16 years of age, and called into the United States under-17 national team for the upcoming international break. They have qualified for the U17 World Cup. As Diego Garcia picks out Natty James, who was wandering in behind the defense. A front three for this one of James, Samuel Sadet, and Ricky Lewis. A little bit of a change from the front three we've seen across the first few games of the season for North Texas. Unchanged look with James dovetailing with Nicholas Simmons and Adu Nice typically playing in that center forward position. Nice is in the team from the start, but he'll be in more of a midfield role underneath those three forwards. At times you'll see him press up alongside Sede. This was the foul. Stabbing in was Timmy Ospina on Marcanic. Down the wing, Adu Nice. Isaac Mwakutuya giving him no airspace down in the left corner. A stalwart of the Houston defense, equally capable at center back and left back. Almost plays in a bit of a hybrid role when they sit three back there. In possession a lot of the times, you'll see those outside backs go forward. Likes of Betancourt today. And it is Mwakutuya playing on the outside, and then Daniel Barrett, Gavin Wolf at the center back positions, very capable with the ball at their feet. It's a bit languid. Trying to draw in North Texas. Cruz, a bit of samba. Ball caught up in the wind as it tailed across from right to left. One big difference in the Houston lineup today, Gilberto Rivera, we've seen start every match of the season. His typical midfield partner has been Gustavo Doman, one of several Brazilians brought in the offseason, and he makes way today for the irreplaceable Diego Gonzalez, finally fit to start a match, coming back from his long-term injury last season after he was off to such a hot start. The 23-year-old scored 3 goals, had 2 assists in their first 7 matches. He was MLS Next Pro Player of the Month last March, and then suffered an unfortunate injury, had to miss the rest of the season, and is just now getting back to enough fitness to be able to go from the start. He's appeared in all 3 matches for Dynamo Dos. He was a halftime sub last time out against Portland. That final test to see if he could go something more like 60 minutes today. We'll see how long he goes. Doman is available off the bench. He just brings so much to the Houston attack, a really do-it-all midfielder, but goals and assists have been the name of his game throughout his MLS Next Pro career. Which dates all the way back to their inaugural season in 2022. You know that he, more so than just about anybody, will be disappointed at the way that Dynamo Dos snapped their postseason appearance streak last year. After making the playoffs each of their first 3 seasons. Finished 11th last year as Gonzalez watched from the outside, but he's a player who's contributed 21 goals to Dynamo Dos throughout his career in MLS Next Pro. Just the 17 assists to go with that. Absolutely gaudy numbers. Di Morelli. Now it's Gonzalez. Rivera, down goes Bell, just inside the penalty area. Claims of a penalty, waved away. That was Jamani Bell, who went down with great intentions as he tried to cut through the North Texas defense. Ricky Lewis advancing and winning a corner for North Texas. Edu Nice struggling at the edge of the penalty box, but a corner coming up for North Texas. That last penalty shout. Bell calling for the ball, turning at the edge of the area. There's a lot of contact there. Now the question being, was it inside or outside of the penalty area? We'll have to come back to that, perhaps. North Texas will feel like they got away with one there. Bell sure won't get away with this one, as Ospina has a few words after he hacked down Diego Garcia. The Texas Derby just heating up. Bell at the center of it all. Garcia limping away from the scene, and it is a caution for J.J. Bell, who I'm sure still talking to the ref about what happened on the other side of the pitch. But here is the bottom line. You could be as frustrated as you want about not getting the penalty call to then go on the other end and needlessly kick an opponent, give up a dangerous free kick with the wind straight into the face of your own goalkeeper here is not the best way to react to that situation. And those are the kinds of learning moments that these young players have to experience in MLS Next Pro. Nice and James over the free kick for North Texas. A line a yard inside the penalty spot. It falls to the first defender for Houston. Gonzalez trying to play it carefully out of the back, and they've given away a throw deep in their own half. Nice. Loose touch from Garcia. But James is able to hold it. Ospina and Newman inflating the completed pass totals. Cruz works his way into a little bit of trouble there. North Texas wants a penalty, much like Houston did a couple minutes ago. That is Enzo Newman, who came through on the overlap. He's remained down just outside of our shot here. There appeared to be some contact as he chased down the ball into the channel. Cruz coming out and colliding with him. Now a hand up from the referee. Cruz was very animated after that play. Did not believe that there was any reason that this should have been given as a foul. Cruz eventually getting to the ball, and Wakutsuya there as the shield in between them. Doing a good job defensively to give his goalkeeper enough room to make a play on the ball. Great feint from Marcanic. Souza continues the play to the left side for Di Morelli. Spots the early cross. Newman alert. Penalty claims at either end of the pitch, but no huge chances to speak of for either side through 17 minutes in the next pro edition of the Texas Derby. Marcanic not going to track that down. Started talking about it earlier, but Marcanic in a funny spot today. He came on as a substitute in the wild match between Houston Dynamo and Portland Timbers in MLS last weekend. Finished 3-2, a 90+15 winner, which was just absolutely insane. But for Marcanic's part, he only played 9 minutes in the match, plus all that stoppage time. He came away with a red card for a foul on the Portland goalkeeper, and he is suspended for 2 games in MLS, but still available for selection in next pro action. So he finds himself on the reserves today. Last time he started a match for Dynamo Dos, he had 2 assists in a 60-minute cameo. So we'll see if he gets subbed off at some point, but an incredibly seasoned attacker, a man who scored more than 30 goals and set the single season record in the USL Championship. Second Division League with Charleston Battery a couple years ago. Made his way to Spain and spent a year there with Castellón. 2025, they were in the second division at the time, and now back in the States. Physicality of this one shining through again with Ospina planted into the turf. They play it into the middle, and that's where that press gets activated for Houston. Something that North Texas coach John Gall prompted me on, as he did his own team this week when he discussed the matchup with Houston. Said that one of their best qualities this year, part of the reason that they've both had a great defensive record and scored so many goals, has been their ability to close down the middle of the pitch. It's the area they press very well, and creating turnovers in the middle of the field has generated a lot of their attacking opportunities. It's evidenced when you look at the underlying numbers in Houston's 3-0 start. They have scored 11 goals. Their expected goals total is less than 4. So they've extremely overperformed in that category. You can take that in a number of ways, but one of the takeaways from that is that they've created very high quality opportunities and converted. They've also been able to score from some ridiculous positions where you wouldn't rack up a very large expected goal total, but it's kind of been one or the other rather than a high volume of chances that would create a bigger number in that expected goals category. Gonzalez. Back to Gavin Wolf. dangerous pass through the middle, but it does allow Rivera to turn, and Bell fouled from behind. Arroyo making it clear that that was the last one for Ospina before he goes in the book. Betancourt bodied off as North Texas regained possession. Ricky Lewis through the middle. Barrett with immaculate timing to intercept. A drop of the shoulder from Rivera, and he spotted the ball over the top. Out comes the goalkeeper. Touch pass by DiMorelli. The net is open. Marcanic there for the cutback. Takes it on his left. It's a poor first touch. He's closed down by Bigger. Rivera, still a chance for Houston. Sliding challenge Stars, but a tug from behind. And Rivera draws the yellow card. That was Timmy Ospina after his final warning just a moment ago. And let's take another look. First, the ball over the top from Rivera. Eric Demora in no man's land. They step right past him, and then that cutback was a little short for Marcanic. There's the tug back from Ospina. It's slight, but it was immediately in the sight of the referee, and did impede Rivera's ability to get a clean strike away. So, yellow card for Ospina, a free kick in a very tasty position, which Diego Gonzalez and DiMorelli and Marcanic alike will have to barter over. Four North Texas players in the wall. Gonzalez peering in. Diego Gonzalez just didn't connect cleanly. He tries to go on the wall side, and through that little hole, kind of to the right of the wall, and then North Texas creating a little bit of a gap with another player just off center. It was the same side that Demora was standing on. He seemed to have been in the position if that was on target. Chance goes begging. Artur Souza. Betancourt. Disappointing delivery. Another example of Houston's pressing through the middle, especially in the earliest phases of buildup. That was the specific place on the field that John Gall was most wary of what Houston can do defensively. And he nearly turned into an opportunity, but the cross just mishit. That was a handball on Samuel Sedet as he tried to bring it in and spark the counter for North Texas. They had some numbers there. Barrett advancing on the dribble. Rivera considering a shot on his left. The final action is all we've been missing from this match. Houston getting in some wonderful positions. A couple of chances they've had as well, just winning the ball high up the fields. Likewise for North Texas, some through balls that have gotten through, and then just the final moment. Mishit passes, skewed shots. And at this point, just one shot on goal for either team. The biggest talking point really has been some of the physical challenges, like that one on Diego Gonzalez. Lewis, Nice pops it through. had a lot of work to get any kind of shot from that high arcing pass. Went for the outside of the boot effort, but Cruz got there in time to shut it down. It's another loose touch from Barrett that cedes possession to the visitors. Through the legs by James, who could not keep it in play. He thought it took a touch off of an orange jersey last, but a Houston throw. Isaac Wakutuya making up the grounds. DiMorelli. Marcanics cross blocked. DiMorelli with an opportunity to send it in. Checks back to Gonzalez. Lewis tracking this one all the way. Wolf happy enough to just shield it out for a goal kick. The wind certainly at North Texas is back, pushing those through balls further forward. Betancourt with a great first touch, creates the angle, cuts it back. Souza shifting. Oh, what a tackle from Slade Starnes. Keeping his balance and stabbing it away at the final moment. The shifty Souza, who created a goal with a similar chop back last time out for his first goal with Houston Dynamo. Shifting it from his right onto his left foot, tried to do the opposite, slide it to the right. Looks like he got past Starnes, but dutiful defending. Patient buildup from North Texas. Garcia's finally found a crease. He's dragged down though, as Rivera was not having it. I did say just at the top of the show that we were anticipating having a water break in this match. Been told that that is not going to be the case. The wind dampening the harsh sunshine on this Saturday evening. Mid-80s at kickoff. Sede. Navigating his way and only finding more orange jerseys behind the ball. Nice into a dangerous area for Natty James, tugs it wide. An explosion of frustration from the left-footed player, slicing back to his right foot. Created a good angle, but I think that's what Houston wanted him to do there. put him on his weaker foot and make him do something special. Didn't pull it out that time. James has been excellent on the start of the season for North Texas. Had an assist in the first match to Nice. He's fired off 7 shots. So we can make that 8 now. His 4 appearances after signing from Portland Hearts of Pine in the offseason. He's a fully capped Trinidad international. Bell. A man who will shoot from absolutely anywhere. Jeremy Hurdle, who's present down in the bottom corner of your screen as we get another view of Bell's effort. He called the Jamaican attacking midfielder a firecracker, somebody who is always trying to make that game-changing play, and someone who really deserved the moment that he got last week, scoring his first professional goal. And if you have not seen his shot that he scored against Timbers 2, do yourself a favor and look up the highlight as he combines here with Marcanic, chopping in, and all these shots that are coming in from Houston lacking a bit of sting with the wind working against them here. But Bell was able to rifle a 30-yard volley past the goalkeeper for the 4th goal out of 5 against Timbers 2. And he's a player who was not able to be a part of the second team picture last season. Jeremy Hurdle told me that he was out of the country, spent the year training by himself in Jamaica, trying to get back in the picture. Dynamo really like what he can do as a player. He wanders on the outside of the box as the corner is swung in. Bigger with the defensive header. The ball hangs up in the wind. Down goes Marcanic. Continuing on, slide pass through Di Morelli. And Di Mora, don't know how much he knew about that save. It looked like he was turning back over his shoulder to see where that ended up. How about the pass, though, from Marcanic? Credit to him for staying on his feet after the foul. And Di Mora sending it behind. Almost looked like his backhand caught that one, because the way that it deflected, he was diving to his left and it deflected off to his right. A little awkward as Di Morelli tried to sneak it in at the near post. In-swinger delivered. Wolf almost there. There's a push in the back as Slade Starnes landed on his rear end, and a foul coming out, whistled against the Dynamo attack. See if we can spot what happened. I guess they're saying that it was on Wolf in the back of Slade Starnes, but goalkeeper didn't know it. Di Mora got a nice punch. Another giveaway from North Texas, but what can Houston do with it? Bell, no-look pass. Betancourt receives. It's back to Bell. Dummy Gonzalez. Bell again, and Betancourt. Beautifully worked by the Dynamo. That is a sharp, sharp challenge. I think it's at Nice, who went down, and a yellow card awarded to Houston. That's gonna be Mwakutuya. That is a cruncher. He did genuinely try to make a play on the ball there. The 6-foot, 180-pound defender, but no doubt that that was a dangerous type of play that was worthy of a yellow card. Just the force that he went in with. And Nice He's going to take his time, favoring the right leg, but the fact that he's back up and walking under his own power, a very good sign for North Texas. He's been their talisman in attack, Adu Nice, as we get the confirmation of the yellow for Mwakutuya. Nice has 4 goals this season, a hat trick against Colorado Rapids 2 to open up the season. Scored a goal against Real Monarchs in their first match, and then scoreless in the last against Austin. We will monitor his freedom of movement as he continues, but starting to jog it off, and down goes Betancourt. Lewis making sure he let Betancourt know he didn't have any bad intentions. This has been a very physical first half. 2 yellows handed out to Dynamo Dos, 1 to North Texas so far. And a total of 14 fouls combined between the two teams, split evenly at 7 apiece. That's not counting a penalty shout on both ends so far in the first half. I would say that Houston's claim was stronger than North Texas's. We might get a look at those at halftime, but J.J. Bell, I think, had a pretty strong case for a penalty early on. Houston have done more than enough with the ball to create some good chances and make that no call irrelevant. The final touch missing on several occasions. Well, we appreciate everybody who has joined us for this Saturday afternoon matinee, a couple hours before kickoff of the 57th Texas Derby between FC Dallas and Houston Dynamo. That one taking place at Toyota Stadium in Arlington. And the reserve teams playing here in Houston. Imagine a few of you out there trying to keep eyes on some of these young academy talents, guys who could really make an impact with the first team. You're going to see a number of them. We would have to presume, based on the players that are missing from this next pro match in the MLS game this evening. Guys like Matthew Arana, 15-year-old star of Houston Dynamo. As Gonzalez has a rip. Demora was unsure which side of the post that was heading. Went full extension and gratefully watched it past the near post. Great technique from Gonzalez, keeping his chest over the ball. Creating one of those skipping shots that sometimes when it bounces right in front of the goalkeeper can cause some trouble. Another high regain for Dynamo Dos. Rivera shapes up a shot. And a lot of low percentage looks from outside the box. As Demora has had to stay on his toes, but none of them have forced any incredible saves in terms of those shots from distance. Biggest save he made was on Di Morelli. clash of heads right in the middle of the park. Rivera receiving the brunt of the blow. Samuel Sede coming through the back, and his arms were up, making some contact with the Dynamo Dos midfielder. On the topic of Texas derbies, doing some research into North Texas, since this was their second game in a row playing against an in-state opponent after the 1-0 loss to Austin on the road in their last match. And despite the historical success of the FC Dallas reserve team, they've had a very poor record against in-state opponents. Just 5 wins in 20 attempts against Houston and Austin in MLS Next Pro games. They've only won 1 out of their 10 matches on the road against those two, which includes a 1-5 record on the road against Dynamo Dos. And that huge gap playing games mostly at SaberCat Stadium is the biggest reason why the overall series is in favor of Houston, 6-3, with 3 draws between the two teams. Gonzalez, left arm raised. It's a well-shaped ball in. Bigger misses his header. Marcanic falling backwards. Looking for the foul. No reason for the referee to blow there. Garcia with a neat touch. Taken away by Bell. Rivera. Gonzalez pulling the strings yet again. Bell 1-2s with Betancourt, who goes around James. Souza lays it off. Some contact as the shot flew in. But play continues with North Texas. Final minute of regulation in the first half. Game opening up a bit. Bell sensing some space, but turns it back. Wakutuya given space to advance. Bell considers a shot. Betancourt can't keep it in. Roll this one back. Betancourt was able to get through as Bigger almost took out his own guy in Natty James, and then was looking for anybody to lay it off to. Rivera's shot. Newman slid in, and those are always funny because Newman doesn't block the shot himself. It was the other defender, and then he does sort of take out the guy who shot it, but you just never really see that given as a foul when the defensive player is trying to block the shot, whether or not they make contact with the ball. Houston's dominance in possession has resulted in a huge number of box entries and a couple of penalty shouts in the first half. They will be disappointed that they haven't scored so far. They've given the ball here away here as Adu Nice comes forward. Ricky Lewis touching into space. Got an awkward step there from Barrett, and it's out for a North Texas corner. playing on the back foot for most of the first half, North Texas. They've had just 42% of the ball. But an opportunity, less than 2 minutes in the half, to try to go ahead. Wind whipping in at goal. It's been a factor this entire half. In comes the cross, back post header! Second ball sent in by Nice. Man, Starnes is gonna want that one back. It looks like at the last moment he opted to try to head it across and nobody was there. It was behind Lewis, it was in front of Bigger. Was he better off trying to put that one on target himself? I'm sure that will be the thought racing through his mind as we approach the halftime break, but a huge opportunity for North Texas to really shake up this game just before halftime. Is there one chance left in the first period? Bigger rotates it over to Nice. Garcia caught on the ball. He's been uncharacteristically poor in possession. Di Morelli taking on Albero. And the Brazilian defender down from the first team. Able to see that ball out of play. He has been a big part of this defensive effort in the first half for North Texas, walling up in front of goal. He and Starnes, two players under MLS contracts, holding it down in front of Eric Demora as we go to the halftime break scoreless. A feisty first half in the Texas Derby. Our score at halftime is Houston 0, North Texas 0. Coming in this halftime, a Ted Lasso star visits Chicago Fire 2. And we check in with former Tacoma star Georgie Manungu. Halftime starts after this timeout.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to Houston, SaberCat Stadium, 0-0 between Dynamo Dos and North Texas. Now let's get to know the continuing journey of former Tacoma Defiant star Georgie Manungu in this incredible story.
Manungu, numbers for Seattle, looking to put this one to bed. Manungu! This one's in bed, and Georgie Manungu puts it there.
Manungu again running at Yaboa, again stepping over, byline, Manungu!
Georgie Manungu is as unpredictable as any player I've seen play for Seattle in MLS history.
Come from a Christian family, you know. My mom raised me with love and a lot of smile, and like she gave me like all like good education, like always happy, whatever is coming, you know. So like I feel like me, I can't play without joy, you know. As soon as I play like with no joy, I'm not happy. And I'm trying to, you know, to enjoy what I'm doing and like always be like normal, natural, you know. So that's me, you know, smile, you know, that's the thing.
For a long time, nobody in Seattle knew the name Georgie Manungu. But in a small village near the western edge of Ivory Coast, the game was already shaping him.
There was no rule, there was no restriction. We play like 9v1, you know, you have the ball and you have to, like 9 defenders against you, and then you have to dribble all of them to go score, you know? That's how I grew up.
He played in the street, sometimes with a ball made of plastic bags. There were no coaches, no tactics, just a game, and a joy that never left him.
It was fun. We played like on the street. You know, the ball wasn't like a real ball. It was a very good time. You know, I enjoyed those times. And every time I go back home, I have to play against my friend. Yeah.
When he came to the U.S., he still had a lot to learn. He studied tape, asked questions, learned where to be and why.
Before training, I went in their office because I didn't really know like about the positioning, the tactical stuff, you know, but they helped me every time. They helped me grow. Like I saw like how I improve a lot, you know, and my level like goes to the next level, you know, because they've been there since the first day. They saw the potential in me, and they decided to help me. They really did the job, you know. So I really appreciate that, and like that's why I'm in the MLS level now. Yeah.
Early in 2023, he was close to signing with the Sounders' first team. Then, without warning, his life changed drastically.
Like I did a great preseason, even score. Like I was so good in preseason, and we came back, you know, training, and then stuff like that happened. You know, it was like all my world like goes down. Like I didn't really know. Like was like, bro, what's really going on? I'm about to live my dream, and then like this stuff happened, you know. But like, you know, I'm a son of God. Whatever happened, you know, is God will decide, you know. And I decided to fight and not let this thing affect me, you know. The doctor was saying like, no, maybe it's not possible that you might play one day, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through. I'm gonna play even if I have one eye. I'm gonna be the best. Everybody's gonna say, oh, this kid has one eye, but he's even better than those who has 2 eyes. And that's my mindset now, you know. No matter where I go, no matter how defender is good, or like I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the best winger in this league, and that's my mindset. That's how I get to the first team.
Then, another blow. His father passed away.
My family didn't want me like to be, they know that this thing affects me, you know, and they didn't want me to go back to my country and then like I'll be so much affected that when I came back, you know, my game will not be the same, you know. And at that moment, I just signed with the first team, so that was the moment to help the team. So I talked to my mom. She was like, Georgie, I know you want to come, but for me, I think like the good thing for you to do is to stay and help your team, you know. And I know your dad will tell me, if he was there, he would say the same thing, you know, because my dad like would never want me to leave training or something like that to just go do other thing, you know, because he's been helping me a lot since I used to be a kid to just keep training and stuff like that, you know. So like I listened to my family, and then I decided to stay and then play for my dad. And then after at the end of the year, I went back to see everything, and yeah, that wasn't easy, you know, playing with knowing that your dad passed away and you can't even go over there, like just seeing for last one time, you know, it's very tough. But I decided to play for the team because I love the team, and yeah, that's the more important thing. I have a lot of people here supporting me, so that was huge.
Right towards the spot. That one's side goal, touched in by Maningo.
Ball come on me, I just put it in, you know. And in that moment, I was thinking about my dad, you know, because my dad passed away the day before. So the coach even asked me, Georgie, are you sure like you can play? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. So, you know, scoring that goal, and then like I was crying even at the end, you know, everybody come to support me, but that was a good moment for me. And I even, you know, put my hand on sky, you know, to say, yeah, Dad, I know you over there, but, you know, like I'm playing for you now. And that was a good moment, you know, and thanks God for everything, you know, and that was one of the best moments of my life, yeah.
He's proven he belongs. Now, he wants more.
I'm always fighting, but my goal is like, you know, to be the best in my position, try to score goal, assist, and try to help the team win trophy, you know. We never know like how it's gonna end, you know, but everybody's dream is to play like, you know, maybe one day in Europe, Champions League, something like that, you know. You never know, that's my dream too, you know, but now I want to help the team, you know, the same way the team helped me too.
He's not just here for himself. His journey is a message.
Whatever you want in your life, go find it, go get it. Because if you don't do it, maybe in the future, one day you're gonna regret it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I could, maybe no. In my mind, there is no maybe. Either I find a way to do that, or either like I create myself a way to do that. So that's my mindset.
Halftime continues here on MLSNextPro.com and the One Football app. 0-0 between Houston and North Texas. I don't know what you've heard, but we can tell you it is not an act. One of your favorite Ted Lasso stars did make an appearance in camp, and he can play. We tracked him down to talk about the experience with the Chicago Fire.
Hola, hola, this is Cristo Fernandez, and we're here at the new facilities in Chicago Fire. Very happy and grateful to be here. I know I've been doing more acting and filmmaking these last couple of years. I would have never imagined how life was gonna turn for me. Never imagined that with my new dreams of film and acting, football, soccer was gonna be the thing that was gonna open them for me. I say this because I've always missed football, soccer. That's my first love. The level is very intense, young upcoming players, so lots of potential in this club. I can say that this is world-class level. I played professionally back home in Guadalajara. We didn't have this level of world-class facilities. I think the club is doing something great for both the city, the team, the players. It's a dream come true for anyone to be here, so for me it's also a dream come true to be here now, and I am grateful for the opportunity. What has surprised me is the level of the team. I've seen both the first team, the second team, the players, they're doing something great. And what surprised me as well is the quality of the people, very nice people. And that also says a lot about the club, and I think that's very important. It's been really nice getting back to the field, training, and really giving my best and believing I still can play this professionally, and we'll see where the dream takes us. But it's been really nice.
We'll wrap up our halftime show here with a look at some of the scores and upcoming fixtures around MLS Next Pro before we get to our first half highlights. So here they are, last week's scores. And Austin taking down North Texas 1-0. Dynamo Dos with that huge 5-0 win. Crown Legacy, another one of those teams toward the top of the power rankings, a 3-0 victory. Crown Legacy and St. Louis City 2 play tomorrow. Those are the other two teams with a perfect start to the season, just like the 3-0 Dynamo Dos. And now a look at the first half highlights. 0-0 between Houston and North Texas. And a few opportunities did come in the first half. That first one from Nick Marcanic, and then the 1-2 with Nice and Samuel Seded. That was as close as the ball ever got to the back of the goal, with North Texas attacking. Natty James snatching at a shot as well. This pass, probably the best moment of quality from either team in the first half, as Marcanic got it to Di Morelli, but a solid save from Eric Demora at his near post. Didn't have to save that one as it flew wide from Diego Gonzalez. So we will take one more short break, and then second half kickoff's gonna be on the way soon.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Ready to go for second half action at SaberCat Stadium between undefeated Dynamo Dos and their in-state rivals, North Texas SC. Our little matinee before the Texas Derby in MLS tonight between FC Dallas and Houston Dynamo, as we bring you a couple of halftime changes. Jonah Gibson, a sub for North Texas, coming in for Enzo Newman. And then, or rather, he came in for Ospina. Newman still out there from the start. I was curious to see how much Newman would play. This is his first start back after he's been returning from a torn ACL. So he is still out there. That's a swap to bring on a defender in Gibson. He typically plays at right back, and that's where he is at the moment. So my take on that is that we may be looking at a back three now for North Texas. See how they align here with Alvaro still on the pitch, playing it out to the newly entered Gibson. JJ Bell maneuvering. He's able to keep the ball in play and pick out Rivera. Croqueta past the defender. every time that ball comes centrally, North Texas just putting those clamps down, getting a lot of bodies in front of the ball. They're okay for Houston to have it in some of the more wide areas. They gave up a goal last week, the winning goal against Austin, by allowing too much space at the top of the box, and they're determined not to make that same mistake in this one. Betancourt, Marcanic. Again, a wall of white jerseys forming. Rotated out to Gonzalez, and I talked about that switch, bringing on a defender for a midfielder. What I'm seeing so far is that Slade Starnes has stepped into the number 6 position, who has started and played every minute so far this season at center back. Gonzalez, oh, it goes through! Head and hands for Eric Demora, and Diego Gonzalez, on his first start back in the team, has scored again for Houston. It didn't look like he had space for the shot. Tap into every goalkeeper. I say with the utmost sympathy as a man who's been in that spot before. Eric Demora will have to keep his head up now and react from that as Gonzalez notches the 22nd goal of his stellar MLS Next Pro career, and to mark his comeback into the second team after nearly a year out with injury. He will take it any way he can get it. James trying to answer immediately. Gavin Wolf able to keep up with him. Now Ricky Lewis. Thought he saw the run through from Garcia, who didn't know much about the pass, as it was cut out by the Houston defense. Bigger, able to glide past a couple of challenges, not allowed to play the advantage, but he takes the free kick quickly here from the wrong spot. That is the 12th goal that Houston has scored this season, and they are still yet to concede a single one. The only team in MLS Next Pro that can say that. It was fortunate to be sure, but statistically they were the superior team in the first half, and when you have the conditions that we have today, the wind whipping all across the field, and at this half it's primarily at the back of Dynamo Dos, you just have to put shots on target and something good will happen. In the first half, the wind was blowing in their face and there were several longer range shots that came off with little power. This was the complete opposite when you think about Gonzalez's goal a moment ago. It didn't start with a lot of juice, but maybe just picked up a little bit of heat or changed direction ever so slightly as it came towards Demora. This one falls to Souza. Marcanic looking dangerous. JJ Bell, great balance to stay on his feet, but dispossessed as Alvaro slid in there. deflection, sees it go back to North Texas. Betancourt has Marcanic for company, turns around the corner, fires off a shot. Lewis forced to be an auxiliary defender at this point. Not the position he wants to be playing in right now. And Rivera comes through, and it's 2-0 Houston. 13 goals without reply as Dynamo Dos seeking a 4th win to start the season. And they are now fully in charge. Rivera able to sneak past Jonah Gibson. Demora beaten again. And it is a long way back for North Texas. The wind at the backs of Dynamo Dos, as if it wasn't already through the first 3 matches of the season. And for North Texas, it feels like a hurricane. They started the season so well in their first 2 matches, and they have been absolutely stonewalled ever since. A really tough result last week against Austin FC 2, and then to come up against this team that is the class of the league right now. Dynamo Dos able to convert. And I think one of the frustrations as I spoke to North Texas head coach John Gall this week was that so many of the goals that they've conceded this year have been avoidable for one reason or another. You'd have to say the same through the first 2 they've conceded. The first going through the legs of the goalkeeper, the second beating him at the near post after a missed tackle. Souza tripped up, and I think the referee spotted first contact outside the area, and now the flag up on the far side. So any penalty discussion there ruled irrelevant by the far side assistant referee. Offside against Artur Souza to help limit the damage. North Texas can momentarily breathe a sigh of relief. But this is starting to look like how the other games this season have for Houston, as a trio of subs make their way towards the scorers table just below us. Jeremy Hurdle's team, the reigning team of the match week in MLS Next Pro, #1 in the power rankings. Finally capitalizing on some of their chances right at the beginning of the second half. They've had a knack this year, Houston, for scoring goals at times that have really given them control of each and every game. Coming in, 8 of their 11 goals had been scored in the final 15 minutes of either half, including 2 goals in stoppage time, either taking or extending their lead in critical moments. And now we get that triple switch from the home team. JJ Bell, Diego Gonzalez, and Artur Souza will depart, replaced by Austin Brummett, new center forward. Samir Mohammed comes in on the wing, and Gustavo Doman in central midfield. Doman as expected, with Gonzalez making his first start of the season, still working his way back to fitness. A goal to his name for the Houston skipper. And now it's back to that pivot that helped lead Dynamo Dos to the 3-0 start, with Rivera and Domon working together in midfield. Samir Mohammed right into the action. He's enjoyed a nice start to the 2025 season. One of the many teenage academy players getting minutes for the second team. He's now played in 3 out of the 4 matches.
Entering the game, players 8, 39, and 7.
Corner on the way for Houston as they try to improve on their league best plus 13 goal difference. In swinging cross. Demora deals with it under heavy pressure, and as the ball floated back towards him quickly, his punch skewed back behind for another corner. I think what we're seeing in the first 15 minutes of this second half really underscores the dominance that Houston actually did have in the first half, despite not scoring. As the next corner comes in, he starts this one deeper, giving it a little more space to turn back, and Demora able to grab it out of the sky. But you think about how much of a factor the wind is clearly playing right now, keeping North Texas penned in, and the fact that that did not really happen to Houston in the first half, even though the wind was just the same working against them. They were still able to keep the ball in North Texas's half. They had 16 box touches to just 4 for North Texas, even working against the wind, and now that advantage showing through on the scoreline, and time for North Texas to make a couple of subs of their own. Marlon Lucen coming in midfield, and Christopher Salazar in up top. They replace Samuel Sede and Diego Garcia.
Live in the games, players number 29, 50, and 23rd.
And lastly, I didn't see Jaden Contreras sneak on here on the near side. So he took out Enzo Newman. Contreras has been playing wingback this season, which was Newman's spot. A little bit of danger at the back, but well dealt with by Alvaro. Then his pass was a little loose, intercepted by Rivera, the second goal scorer for Houston. One back by Contreras. He looks forward straight away. Great ball to bring Ricky Lewis into the play. Adu Nice. And the counter grinds to a halt. But immediately the injection of positivity from the 18-year-old Jaden Contreras, definitely a player who's on that first-team radar. He's been an under-19 international with USA and Honduras in the past year. And they're trying to fine-tune him a little bit towards that wingback role, which was new to him this season. Naturally, a very gifted attacking player, and one who, even when he plays wingback, is one of the key parts to North Texas's attack. He leads the team with 2 assists this season. Here he is on the dribble. He was grappling with Rivera, and the foul goes against the North Texas player. Contreras, by the way, started his career in the Dynamo Academy. Another wrinkle to this in-state rivalry. A lot of familiarity between the players on these two teams. That was Doman going in the book as he gave the ball away and then responded in kind against Slade Starnes.
A yellow card caution has been issued by the referee for the Houston Dynamo, those to number 8. At the minute,
Starnes and Lucen will be the midfield pivots for the rest of this one. Nice trying to provide the creative spark through the middle. Lewis is able to guide the shot on target, but easily palmed down by Pedro Cruz, who decided to take an extra second or two. Now he's counted down by the referee as part of that emphasis on speeding up the play when the ball is in the goalkeeper's hands. And then I saw as soon as Arroyo gave that hand signal that he was down to 1 second, that's when Cruz dropped it to his feet to remain legal in the play, but still try to take as many seconds as he could off the clock. I say this with genuine admiration. He is one of the most impressive clock manipulators that I've seen in MLS Next Pro. Pedro Cruz, one of the many factors that makes him a standout goalkeeper. But if you want the hard stats, he also saved more than 8 expected goals above what he was expected to last year, which was the top mark in MLS Next Pro. Oh, lovely flick from Marcanic. Doman coming around the corner, and Starnes. That is the part we know he'll bring to the midfield position. Able to track runners and put in tackles as he usually does at center back, but thin unit in the middle of the park right now for North Texas SC. Can't say I've seen him play in midfield before, Starnes. I called a few of his games in college. As Natty James is going to be caught offside here. Started his career at Furman, coming out of the FC Dallas Academy, and then transferred back locally to SMU, Slade Starnes, where he became a Mac Herman Award semifinalist as the best college soccer player in the country. Drafted by North Texas and signed a first-team deal, but he immediately became the captain here of the second team. There's Samir Mohammed. Has Marcanic as a free man on the far side. Marcanic will take it himself. Di Morelli, the ball eventually falls to him, although he would have preferred it a few seconds earlier. Starnes throwing Marcanic to the ground and doing so legally in the eyes of the referee. Well, that's grown man on grown man. Starnes has some words still for Marcanic just behind the play. Salazar held back by Rivera. Contreras. Left a bit to be desired on the pass into Natty James. Another big tackle from Starnes.
Fans, your attention please. Substitution for Houston Dynamo those in the minute 67. Leaving the game number 33.
We are about to see a debut for the young left back Reese Miller. Guy who signed with Dynamo this year after playing his college ball at the University of Virginia. 55 appearances over 4 seasons, although he missed the 2024 season with an injury that knocked him out. Came back his senior year, really impressed, and was able to earn a contract with FC Dallas, where he started his youth career. He is a homegrown player for the first team, Houston, where he started his youth career. It is an interesting spot for him, though. A player who was on that first team roster, kind of in that fringe area, and then they announced yesterday the signing of Sam Vines, who plays in the same position, a former U.S. men's national team player that you imagine would hold down that spot. And so all of a sudden you look at somebody like Miller and you might be seeing a few more second team opportunities. Attacking fullback on the left side, and here he darts forward. That ball's gonna keep rolling with the wind propelling it forward. But out came the goalkeeper. Miller has actually appeared for the second team in the past. He made 9 appearances in the first ever season of MLS Next Pro back in 2022 as an academy player. And now back in his return. .20 minutes to go, and Dynamo Dos in full control. Continuing their perfect start to the season. A perfect 3-0 record. Coming into the game, 11 goals scored, none conceded. Marcanic just hasn't been able to make these chances his own. It's been plenty of opportunities for him. And now a man down for Houston. That is Noah Betancourt, the right wing back. Deceiving when you see the wind whipping across the fields, gusting around 20 miles an hour, but it is 85 degrees today in Houston. And some of those early season cramps coming for Betancourt. Rivera finds the feet of Brummett. One of several subs who will be eager to get their own names on the score sheet. Houston had 5 different goal scorers last week. They've had 2 new names in this match, with Rivera scoring his first goal for Dynamo Dos, and Gonzalez certainly had a lot to his name in terms of his next pro career, but it was his first of the season, that opening goal. So for Brummett, Mohammed, Reese Miller, all probably seeing this as a great opportunity to get one of their own. So dangerous ball played across, taken away by North Texas, and Wakutuya right on the spot defensively. And now the newest signing for Dynamo Dos will make his MLS Next Pro debut. And that is Eiji Hata, the midfield player coming out of Seattle University, who signed last week and made the bench against Timbers 2, but did not come into that match. So he replaces Betancourt, and a player that, as far as I can tell, was more of a central midfielder, but much like Betancourt, who also has played quite a bit of center mid, he finds himself out in the right back position. Praised for his versatility and his work ethic upon signing Hata. Player expected to be a very important depth piece for Dynamo Dos this year. Marcanic got some contact from Starnes as he turned away, but not enough for a foul. That will certainly be enough for a foul. Barrett claiming that it went both ways, but Salazar, I think, deservedly earning the whistle from the referee. North Texas have just looked out of sorts in this match, especially with the ball. Diego Garcia came off, but he was sloppy in the first half. This midfield pairing of Lucen and Starnes right now, not exuding a lot of control against a Dynamo Dos midfield that is assuredly one of the best in all of MLS Next Pro. Whether it was the starters or the subs, any mix of the 3 between Rivera, Doman, and Diego Gonzalez is a force to be reckoned with in the middle of the park. They've just got all the bits of a team that could be competing for MLS Next Pro Cup this year. Got the dynamic attackers. They've got that blend of youth and experience. They've got the injection of first-team talent as well, the likes of Miller and Maturana. They've got an outstanding goalkeeper in Pedro Cruz, who can keep them in any game and win them the tight ones. Marcanic gives it to Miller, and it almost works as a pass to himself. Marcanic cutting a slightly frustrated figure. He'll have one more game of his suspension to serve with the first team after the end of the night. And then We'll see if he makes another second team appearance during that time frame, but he is another one of those first team changes that has added a bit of punch to Dynamo Dos early on in the season. Things will get more challenging as they move forward, though. The advantage they've had has been 4 straight home games to start the year. Rivera considers his options. Doesn't seem like he wants to shoot, but where he's gonna pass was the question, and that did not come to much of anything. After this, Houston will play 10 straight road games, starting on April 4th, away to Sporting Kansas City 2. Starnes giving his all, has been absolutely everywhere. So when we return from the international break, that's when we may learn a little bit more about Dynamo Dos and how much they'll be able to continue this early season success when they face some battles on the road away from Sabercat Stadium, but they could not ask for a much better start to the season as things have gone so far. Testing the back line yet again, this time North Texas resolute. Collectively, their defending has been very good, just undone by a couple of sloppy moments. For all the pressure Dynamo Dos have had, a lot of the principles have been right for North Texas. What's been abnormal has been the lack of chance creation. This is one of the most dynamic attacking teams in the league year in and year out. And even when they don't see a lot of the ball, they're usually dangerous on the break, much like Marcanic here. Did the keeper bring him down? Yes. Penalty, yellow card, and a day of disgrace for Eric Demora continues. Marcanic got in behind. He's trying to go around the goalkeeper with that touch. That's not a shot, and Demora not letting him pass. Assuming there was contact there, and it did look like it on our first look. That is about as clear of a decision as you'll find. But when you're a goalkeeper and you make a mistake, all you can ask is to save the next one, and a chance for Demora to do so from the penalty spot against Gilberto Rivera, who scored his first pro goal earlier in the match. Can he make it 2? High steps, shoots, and it's a save for Demora. Oh, that's brilliant. A clinic in mentality. I mean, you have to be impressed. I say it as a former goalkeeper, to respond from a mistake is one of the greatest qualities you can have. And the coaches will absolutely love that. So will his teammates, keeping it at 2 for the moment, but there is a corner to deal with. Rivera from deep. And another save from Demora. Could that spark a little bit of life into North Texas? They do have a sub getting ready. Benji Flowers, the 14-year-old academy player, getting set to make his professional debut, it appears. Number 21 down in the shadows. Salazar continues forward. We see so often that a penalty save can be a conduit for attacking momentum. That change in emotions from feeling like you're about to concede a goal to making a huge play. It almost feels like a 2-goal swing. Adonis getting on the ball. Trying to make something, anything happen in this Texas derby where North Texas's record historically has been so poor. 1-5 all-time on the road against Dynamo Dos. 1-10 on the road, or sorry, 1 win in 10 on the road against Texas teams. All-time in MLS Next Pro. So we see the sub. It is Natty James who will go off on the far side. And on comes Benji Flowers, a United States under-15 national pool player. He is a winger, much like James, the man he's replacing. And at 14 years of age, he makes his professional debut for North Texas SC. What a moment. He will have 6 minutes to try to make an impact for head coach John Gall. Here he is helping to win it back. Nice carries forward. Barrett defends it well. Just nothing doing for North Texas. Working into the wind. Starn stumbles. What a dribble this is by Alvaro Augusto. The shot floating over. Laid off by Brummett. Mohammed clips it over as Miller, first time ball, trying to get it back in front to Austin Brummett. Seen out of play by Rivera. Jeremy Hurdle's mentality is all about working for the team. Even in those little moments like that defensive transition, Rivera jumping on the first touch from North Texas and making sure his team had time to retreat, even with a 2-0 lead. That intensity and that team mentality, he said, have been the foundations of success for Houston early on this season. Lucen. Sells our chests and was trying to set up Nice. The numbers are lopsided at this point. 20 shots to 5 in favor of the home team. They've put 6 on goal to just 2 for North Texas. And they could have had a lot more with a penalty saved and a couple of shouts for other penalty kicks not given. But if you joined us late, it was 2 early second half goals in a 5-minute period from Diego Gonzalez in the 48th minute and Gilberto Rivera in the 53rd. That put Houston in front. No reason to knock Dynamo Dos down in the MLS Next Pro power rankings, it appears. They enter the week with the #1 spot. There's a nice turn from the young Flowers. It did go off him last, but he was fouled before that ball ran out of play. Showing a spark. One that is worth looking at again. Benji Flowers. Ooh, now you see me, now you don't. And that is, by the way, a top defender in Daniel Barrett that he just breezed past. Nice, good delivery. Bigger coming through into the post. And what a ball this is. Pedro Cruz dribbling it forward to Marcanic. Can't convert. And it will be a throw after waiting to see if that would go out for a corner. Marcanic had stayed down the play before and looked like he was injured. He popped up after that corner, and then all of a sudden he was free at the halfway line. A phenomenal pass from Pedro Cruz, showing the varied types of distribution. If you ever wonder what goalkeepers work on in training, it's ridiculous passes like that. Last few minutes of the session, or as you get started sometimes. So 3 minutes of second half stoppage time.
Correction, 3 minutes to the second half.
Miller waiting for the signal from the referee to get the play back underway. Houston will be happy to keep it down here. Hata. Last off of Houston, but it's gonna be a tough spot for North Texas to get out. North Texas, it's Salazar. Lewis with a little space. Dipping inside and fouling Barrett. Some individual moments from North Texas, but the link up as a team in attack not quite firing. Lewis coming in from the first team and doesn't quite have that same chemistry that Nicholas Simmons and Natty James had built up in the front line. Samuel Sadet, who started up top, failing to make a significant impact as well in this match. And there's no shame in that against a very, very good Houston team. They have some brilliant one-on-one defenders with Barrett, Wolf, and Wakutuya making life difficult. Not to mention the midfielders in front of them. For as impressive as their goal-scoring display has been early on in the year, now up to 13 goals. The fact that they still have not allowed one, and coming into this game, they had only allowed 2.8 expected goals through their first 3 matches. is really the standout quality of this team, and the one that will take them as far as they are able to go. It really raises the ceiling when you start with that level of defensive solidity. A perfect opening month for Houston. 4 wins, no losses, 13 goals scored, 0 goals allowed. It doesn't get any better than that. And the star man of the match, coming back for his first start of the season, Diego Gonzalez, our man of the match, presented by Adidas. He slowly worked his way back into the team, and he opened the scoring early on in the second half with this goal in the 48th minute. He took a chance. The wind certainly played its part, and Demora ended up with head in hands as he had lots of gratitude for the staff that has brought him back from injury, and after a year out, last year's March Player of the Month in MLS Next Pro comes through for Dynamo Dos to close out their opening slate this season. A perfect 4-0 record and a 2-0 win on the night in their version of the Texas Derby. For our entire MLS Next Pro crew, my name is Parker Johnson. Once again, our final score, Houston 2, North Texas 0. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and the OneFootball app. Good evening, everybody.